We're not filming this again. It's now on. Why are they threatening me? It's now on never. Are you ready? Hello, I'm Ayobami Esther Temidayo, and you're welcome to my channel. So this idea came in a couple of years ago, and you know how you just feel like you're going to do something, but you keep pushing it like far into your future. You're like, I go do, I go do, and then as you keep coming closer to that set date that you had in mind, you keep pushing it away because it just feels something that's quite overwhelming for you. Or this is my story actually, so it felt like something that was quite overwhelming for me, something so big for me, and I just kept pushing it because of how overwhelming the idea itself in itself felt like for me. Just it was so big for me to comprehend, and so I kept pushing it into the future. I was like, I'll do this next year. Next year comes, I'll do it next year. Next year comes, I'll do it next year. I kept pushing it on. I had to come to terms with the fact that I would either do it now or I would never do it, right? I'm just here to share my thoughts on why exactly I'm doing this. So I learned this from the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It was a very good thing that I read this book at the point I read this book, because if I had not read this book, I probably would not be making this move at this point in my life. So I learned from that book that when we do something new or we step into a very unfamiliar terrain, you will definitely feel a certain dose of fear because it's new. You've never done this before. You don't have foreknowledge, you don't have experience about it beforehand, and so it's okay for you to feel that fear, because it's like, what if I fail? What if I'm mocked? What if I don't do this? What if I beat myself so hard? What if I go all in and then I fail? How am I going to recover from that kind of fall? And that's what I felt over some time, because this is something entirely new to me. At the end of the day, we are human. We don't have control of everything in our hands. We can't predict what's going to go right or what's going to go wrong. So it's okay for you to feel that fear, but beyond feeling that fear, you have to push eh you have to what? You just have to push past yourself and move, because you literally cannot do anything about it. Okay, you can do something about it. You can either sit down and keep waiting for that perfect time, or you just move ahead, even in the midst of every challenging thing that's stopping you from making that move. And it's just so interesting, because you know how you see maybe a friend do something and you're like, oh my god, she was so good at what she did. And I've even had that experience when someone comes up to me and say, you did this, it was so cool, I loved it, I admire you. And I'm like, you had no idea how I was feeling when I walked up that stage or when I was making that move. And people don't just see the picture of we being afraid, because it's a battle you have to fight internally, right? But people just see the perfect picture of you doing whatever you're doing and it looks so cool. But at the end of the day, we all had to fight our fears. And so I've learned to fight my fears, because before doing this, I was like, do I really want to put my face out for the whole world to see? Do I really want to share things that I've had to learn, the journey that I've had to go through into becoming the person that maybe say I don't become sure, but I did try. Yes, I do try. Yeah. If I'll bring Bible stories into this, it's the story of the lepers at the city gate. They were like, if we sit down here, hunger will kill us, we die. If we enter the city, last they kill us, we die. So at least let's even make an effort to die, right? So I'm making my effort to face my fear. Yes, I'm afraid doing this. I don't know if 2 months from now I will want to continue doing this, but I mean, at least make I even try safe. If for small efforts. Another thing is that you look at the bigger picture. Now you want to ask yourself, and I have asked myself, why do I really want to do this? What's the need of doing this? What difference will this make, right? And it's something that you really need to be honest about and show, because people do things for different reasons. For some people, it's because they see people do it so well, it looks good, and you're like, okay, I can try that and I think I'll be cool with it. But you really have to answer that question sincerely, because beyond the pleasurable side of it, or the side that attracts people to doing what you are doing, or you doing what other people are doing, you really want to ask yourself your why. I hear this like almost everywhere, in almost every place. You hear people say, know your why, know your why. At some point I was like, why they hide from me? Because I'm looking for you, I can't find you. But guess what, I eventually found my why, and thankfully I know why I'm doing this. I know why even if things get hard, I might want to still, place my foot on the ground and insist on staying here. Does that make sense? Now, I think it's best for me to draw background story to this. When I was okay, so this idea had come to me about 3 years ago, and I just kept pushing the whole thing because I felt like, okay, at that point I was in school, I felt I could not handle schoolwork and doing this, right? I also felt like there were many other people doing this, so what difference am I going to make? What do I have to bring? Does it even really make sense in the first place for me to put myself out there for the world to see? I'm like, hey, no, I like my private life, I'm cool that way. But then, because what I would actually be doing here on this platform is something that I'm very much passionate about, I just could not excuse that desire, that idea, that burden inside of me. I could not excuse it because it's something that is inborn, something that I want to do, even if I did not know how to go about it. I had to look at the bigger picture. Why do I want to do this? Why do I need to do this? Why do people need to hear my voice? And I've answered those questions, and it took a while for me to get there, but I don't cross that bridge. And yes, when there's a very big step before you to take, when there's a very big decision you have to make, and you just want to sit in the face and be like, let time pass, this too will pass. Nothing is going to pass, especially when it's something, how people talk a lot about purpose, and they say it's not something that you can easily excuse. It's not something that you can, it's not like an hobby that you can replace at any time. No, it's something that is fueled inside of you, and you just cannot quench it because it's a God's fire that cannot be quenched. You also need to do it anyway. Yeah. So beyond you going past your fears and answering the question, why do I want to do this? Eventually, at the end of the day, you have to take a move. Even the Bible tells us that faith without works is dead. So if you have faith in yourself, if you have faith in the message you have to pass across, if you have faith in the thing you want to do, at the end of the day, your faith is not going anywhere if you don't take a move. So do it anyway. We also understand from scriptures that the blessing is in the doing. So it's not just hearing, and truly faith comes by hearing, right? But at the end of the day, faith cannot move without works. Faith is always accompanied with action. Yeah, you display your faith by actually making a move. Your action is a way of telling God that I trust your word, I trust your promise, and so I work in alignment with it. So I think it's best for me now to say that my channel will be about faith, family, and life conversations. Upload days would be Sundays. Every Sunday will be my upload day, and it could be. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on that notification bell. See you in my next video. We made it. Wow, just wow. What else did they say again? Like, subscribe, comment, share. Okay, you're come. Ah, God, who give me work?